Welcome to Animates, a retro anime review comedy podcast. These episodes contain spoilers and adult language, so stick around if you're cool like that. Welcome to Animates. My name is Mackenzie, joined by my lovely co-host, Lindsay.
Hello, I am lovely.
Yes, you are. Lindsay, it's the final episode of our Choose Your Anime Based on the Song series I've been doing.
Man, it's been a real journey, Mackenzie, but I mean, we made it through. We got here. There's a lot of support from my family and from our Patreon Discord friends. It's been great. And we finally have gotten to the summit of this mighty feat. And I'm really proud of us today.
Has it really been that big of a thing for you? Has it been that big of a struggle?
No. Are you kidding? I got to watch Skinny Goth Boys and then whatever the hell Zell was.
That Nightcrawler motherfucker?
Yeah, that Nightcrawler motherfucker.
Yeah.
Someone apparently was like, how dare you?
However, there are no more song choices left for you to make.
I know. I don't need... I didn't have to think of any questions.
For the folks at home, the final remaining song is the very 80s Keytar experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, Lindsay, I must ask, are you ready to put on your Lycra leotard?
Always.
And give your muscles and your tear ducts a workout?
Am I going to cry?
Well, you know what they say, no pain, no gain, except this week it's no pain, no Gynax.
Is this Appleseed?
No, you have chosen the Studio Gynax hit Mecha series and directorial debut of Hideki Anno, Gunbuster.
Am I going to cry?
No comment.
Am I going to be mentally destroyed?
There may or may not be a mentally destroying ending to this show. But unlike Gundam Wing, this isn't about a bunch of boys.
Okay.
No, these
pilots
are
a bunch of girls.
Almost all female, yeah, and they're ready to kick some butt.
Fuck yeah.
Eventually.
No.
Once they train. So, let me give you a breakdown of what to expect.
Yeah,
from
break
Gunbuster.
it down for me.
Humanity, on the brink of destruction, thanks to some crazy ass, terrifying alien bugs, decide that Earth's best plan is to throw teenagers and giant robots at them.
What is with Gynax and throwing teenagers into absurdly large robots?
I don't know. Japan loves teenagers and robots.
We need to
problems.
check on
them. Our main girl, Noriko Takaya, is a cadet with huge dreams and zero
I thought you were
experience.
going to say something else.
A cadet with huge tatas. No.
Who knows? We've seen the boobs in Evangelion.
Psh. Look, I'm going to send you some images so you can know what I'm talking about as I say this.
Okay. Oh, this looks so cool. Whoa, the cutouts on that.
It's a little horny looking at times, I will admit, but this is not an ecchi series.
I don't believe you.
You are going to see a bit of boob. You're going to see a bit of butt. But
okay,
it is not an ecchi series.
Okay. Again, I don't trust you.
I repeat, an ecchi series. But anyways, Space
that
Pilot
still needs to be seen.
Yeah.
Because we all know you
like tricking you.
Yes.
This is not an ecchi series. Okay, but anyways, Space Cadet, big dreams, no experience, trying to live up to her dad's legacy, who was this epic pilot.
Okay.
She's got a mentor that's their drill sergeant, some teammates that are way better than she is, and she has a robot called Gunbuster. I'm not kidding about it being very 80s. As you can see from those images, there's bodysuits, there's crop tops. They're also the most impractical spacesuits ever. Because yes, they are wearing those in the mechs. Who needs to have anything else? What are you showing me? What the butt cheek showing up between the thigh gap? Yeah, I know.
Yes.
It's not an ecchi series. I swear.
That detail didn't need to be in there.
I told you there's going to be some butts.
I thought from the behind, not through the legs.
Whatever. Look. I've given you the warning. There's some butts. What?
Sorry. Now I'm just looking at trying to figure out the anatomy of how that's supposed to work.
Anyways, this is up there with Evangelion for some people
in terms of mental health destruction.
Well, that and also just because the fact that Evangelion wouldn't exist if it wasn't for this show.
Okay.
So I have, again, funny enough, much with Slayers, had requests to watch Gunbuster, and I was like, I'll get to it eventually. And this request was 4 or 5 months ago. So the person that emailed me or messaged me 3 times about it, congrats.
This is for you.
There you go.
Don't say we don't give you anything.
Someone also sent a really nice email to me after I'd already planned for this to be part of my series, being like, hey, I saw this thing on Crunchyroll called Gunbuster. I think you guys might like it.
Oh,
And I
that's so
responded, and I was
sweet.
like, love the email. You're in luck.
It's coming.
So that was pretty sweet. Now,
Hmm.
you will be watching the whole thing.
Is it a movie? Is it a series? What is it?
It is 6 episodes.
Okay, copy.
If you don't include, like after the first one, if you don't include the intro and intro, it's like 20 minutes each.
Okay, not
Nothing too
bad.
crazy. But, and again, because people have complained when we only watch 4 of 6 of something, but this is kind of one of those cases where it actually matters.
Mhm.
Because someone gave me so much shit for 4 of 6 for Shamanic Princess, but I was like, I don't give a shit
Okay.
about the prequels, whatever, not a big deal. But this, the ending, it would be a huge disservice to not have you watch it, to both your emotions, my enjoyment, and your tear ducts could use with some more working out, you know?
We haven't even watched the end of Evangelion. Like, I'm just talking about like the initial 26 episodes, and you're giving me another Gynex robot girl traumatic teen show. Merry Christmas to me.
I should note that one of Gunbuster's genres is comedy. So I'm just throwing that out there.
I look at you with suspicion.
Look, I'm not saying there's no trauma from war. I'm just saying get the tissues ready. And I might be fucking with you. It might be the most hilarious, epic, or like action-packed ending you've ever seen. You never know.
I know. I just don't trust you anymore. You've broken my trust.
This could just
I
be
am a shell of a woman.
This could just be a girl robot ecchi series full of nothing but golden boy
just
style
Ica.
moments, and
It's
you
just
wouldn't know.
Ica.
Yeah, there you go. It could be another Ica, and you don't know. So, with that being said, we're gonna go watch 6 episodes of Gunbuster.
Got me fucked up, man.
And we'll be right back. Make sure to check out our Patreon to get access to a bonus episode this month on the 27th for both paid and free tiers, where I make Lindsay watch the literal most batshit crazy ecchi we have ever watched on this podcast. And we're back from watching the entirety of Gunbuster. And Lindsay, I have to ask, did this 80s mecha anime make you want to bust your gun, or was it a total bust?
Oh my gosh. I mean, oh my gosh. Okay. It is a very good series, and I understand how this kind of was the prelude to Neon Genesis and things like that. Being
However,
that it's the holiday season,
uh-oh.
all I want for Christmas is for Hideki Anno to stop emotionally beating the shit out of me. Because holy moly, bro, this is a lot of emotional bandwidth to take in the content that he creates. Holy moly. Does he make happy things?
Yes.
That was questionable.
Gynax and Kara have done some fun stuff.
Well,
like
yeah, we had
Gurren
Ichiban Ebichu,
but
which was a hoot and a half.
as a guy himself, not entirely. He did work on like Studio Ghibli stuff, like
Oh, cool.
Nazca Valley of the Wind. Oh, I guess that one's pretty dark too.
I haven't seen it.
Man, time dilation is a bitch.
Right? It made me. I just thought of Interstellar the entire time.
Like, oh man, going away for 6 months and coming back and all your childhood friends are adults with children.
Mm-hmm. That'd be wild. I don't. It's almost like being. I always kept thinking of like vampires because of. I always think about vampires, but just in the fact that like the ones you love are aging and you're not.
Mm-hmm. Oh
You know,
yeah.
she's 17, and then by the end of the series, she's like 18.
Basically, yeah.
I'm just thinking about the commitment you have to make as someone who's pursuing that career, knowing that you literally are not a part of your family's life.
Oh yeah.
It's dark.
The animation in this is so beautiful.
Oh, it's so beautiful. They popped off. They definitely were like, "Hey, watch this," and then just created this like beautiful show. And was I correct in seeing that it's like Bandai as well?
Produced by Bandai.
Okay, so Bandai was involved. Overall, I think this is like it's a good series, very well done. I definitely have my issues with it.
I was gonna say there's only so many flaws you can overlook with the beautiful painted backdrops.
100%. Like, don't get me wrong, the amount of talent that went into this is there's a huge amount of it. I just have some problems with like character motivations and maybe space uniforms, but you know.
Before we get into that, did you notice anything interesting about the dub?
That Angemon is coach?
But anything else about that?
Oh no.
Did you do any Googling about the voice actors?
No, just coach, because I was like, how do I know this voice? And then it was Angemon.
Did you see a picture of who that voice actor is?
The one who plays coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like 12. Why? What? What about him? Now I'm gonna look it up again, because I genuinely did look at him and I was like, yep, great. How do I not? Am I missing something?
Bradley Gareth, born in 1995. It's kind of weird for someone born in 95 to be dubbing something from 88.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a little bit okay. So what's going on there?
So
does Bradley Gareth not exist?
Until 2023, no dub existed for this show.
Oh.
This is a brand new dub.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
I feel stupid.
No. The brain fart is totally understandable. I had the exact same thing. I was Googling voice actors and I was like, wow. My first thought seeing a photo of the voice actor of Coach, I was like, did this child have the deepest voice acting this guy when he was like fucking 10? And that's when my brain went like, no, you idiot. They only just, thanks to Discotech Media, came out with the dub.
Oh my gosh.
It's actually like a pretty decent dub.
Yeah, I think they did great. When you were like, would you notice anything? I was like, should I have?
No,
I didn't notice anything. And that's how you know they did a good job.
The reason it took so long to get this dub was because the audio and the vocal tracks were combined and they lost the original.
Oh, yeah, that
and they didn't have the tech to easily separate it until recently.
Okay.
So Sound Cadence Studios stepped up and put their whole sound caducey into this and just like gave us a pretty good dub.
Is that going to be something that this podcast now does? Is just adds ussy to whatever we think that people just cram into?
We got to try and stay hip and cool, and adding ussy to stuff is currently hip.
We got
to
be chuggy.
Sure. Now you mentioned the outfits.
Yes.
First off, I stand by my statement that this is not an ecchi. Regardless of the boobage with the jiggle physics.
I was like, the jiggle physics are jiggle physicking in space. Holy moly.
There's the crotch shots, there's the ass-tastic outfits. I get that. But this is not an ecchi. It's full of fan service.
I wouldn't classify this as an ecchi.
No, it's definitely not like
it's
Agent
not like
Ica
aggressive.
in your face.
Oh, we went more than 26 seconds.
Look, Kid Me was very happy with these pilot outfits. Adult Me is mostly confused why they use them while they're actually flying in space.
Yeah, I like. Part of me is like, it's an anime and it's for buzz and blah, blah, blah. Part of me is like, I understand the fact that this isn't real, but the costume designer in me hated them because it doesn't make sense.
But booties.
Let's put the girls in these very revealing French cut bodysuits and the men in full length sleeves and hems and call it a day. Like,
Lindsay, anime.
I know. We have to remember, I have 5 years of post-secondary in costume and fashion design.
I know.
I need to do, once I do 5 years of anime studying, when we're on year 5 for this, I'm sure I'll be like, it all makes sense. But until then.
This bouncing of the boobs is actually known as the Gynax bounce.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Because this was one of the first shows that really kind of introduced like the boobs moving on their own.
I'm going to need you to not make that motion while you describe this to me, because otherwise we're going to have to date again.
They obviously weren't the first to do like bouncing boobs, but they were the first to like,
could you imagine,
really kind of get it into like the motion of the ocean.
What a claim to fame. What a claim to fame.
This was the beginnings of the Gynax bounce. It eventually became known as Gynaxing, which is where like someone would like stand up tall and their boobs each individually would move on their own, like wildly.
Like Madam President from Golden Boy.
Yes, exactly.
Oh man.
So there's fan service and there's jiggle, but it could have been so much worse.
Yes, it could have been a lot worse, but I also wish it wasn't there.
There's a lot of like random nudity that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm like, I get it. It's a part of anime culture. People love fan service. That's fine. I get
You
it.
just got to think about the 14-year-old boys watching this that were very
No,
excited about the shower scenes.
I just know what the smell of their rooms would be like. Yeah.
Oh,
Again, yes.
man.
So, like, yeah, I understand why the uniforms look how they do. Objectively, they're cute, but they don't make sense in the context.
No,
That's
they
my
make
only. That's it. They're cute outfits. They're great. They just don't make sense in terms of
no.
like space.
Like, you know what? If you're on Earth and you're doing your training montages, I get it. You're
Yep,
in the crop top,
absolutely.
you're in the bodysuit, like swimsuit training style. Totally makes sense.
Hmm.
But in space, the only difference is they just like pull a little thing up over their mouth.
That's literally it. Is they just have a muff that goes over their face or a buff? Nope, they don't put a muff in their face. Anyways, yes. I don't know. I'm like, space is harsh. You should have more covering stuff so that things don't dry out.
If you're gonna put the girls in it, you dang well better put the boys in it too.
I want the boys in some banana hammocks and like a bomber jacket. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
If we're gonna have nudity, it has to be across the board.
Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, just Dick Fight Island costumes.
Oh gosh. I introduced Lindsay to the idea of Dick Fight Island, which is a boys love manga, which is exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Oh man, it's wow, that exists.
let's talk about the actual show here.
Yes. Before we get in it, I the one big thing, I know we just talked about costumes and stuff like that, and I was like, this doesn't make sense. I'm willing to look past the costumes. The one thing that drove me nuts was Noriko, let's say her
Mhm.
name right. Why is her motivation only men? That was my one big thing. She's like, I have to do this for my dad. And then it was like, I have to do this for Smith. I have to do this for Coach. And I was like, can you not do it for yourself? For your own integrity? Like, I don't know. It's something that drives me nuts in retro content is that
Yeah.
women's motivations and things like that are always revolve around men. That was just like my one thing is I wish her motivations were different or like the things that really drove her were different. I don't know. And I could be wrong. I've only watched the show once and maybe if I was to give it a rewatch, maybe I would find different things. But for me, she felt very one-dimensional in terms of her motivations.
We never actually hear about her mother.
No.
So I'm pretty sure in her life she only ever had her. Well, then who was she with when he was away?
Was it like a boarding school?
I don't know. If she
don't
doesn't
know.
have a mom and like all she has have been like the male figures in her life and she loses her father, at least she's going for them more as like not relationship based. Like she wants Coach because like Coach is like the father in her life at that time. So at least that's kind of fine.
I don't know. Like the dad, I understand. And it's like legacy and, you know, this is in your blood. You want to do your honor to your family, things like that. I understand that. But it just seemed like every time she was like pulling her shit together, it was always like, I need to do this for Smith. And it's like, no, you need to do this because you're a part of a team that's going into intergalactic battle against aliens. And maybe your motivation needs to be the fact that like you need to care for your comrades and your coworkers in this. And you need to, you know, save humanity. Like I just wish there was more depth to her motivations other than her
Yeah.
like crying and then finding the strength to pull herself together because she thought of a man.
I fully agree with you because she knew Smith for like 4 hours.
Right? She literally knew him for a hot moment, got him killed, and was like, well, now he's my motivation for doing my job right. And I was like, girl.
Oh, to be a teenage
know.
girl.
Oh my gosh. Yep. Yeah, she's a teenage girl doing all of this. I mean, amazing. Good for you for being a teenage girl and getting this like insane position with this very important battle. But also, holy moly, girl. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know if it was funny what I was saying. And I like again, don't come after me. It's a good series. Yes, it's a good series. That was just something that drove me nuts. Anyways, on to telling you and breaking down what happened. You ready for this?
Let's do it. Let's get into episode 1.
Well, episode 1 starts with the class English project talking about someone's daddy and how great he is. And he's in space, all that fun stuff. And then we fast forward and the dad is dead. Into the theme song.
Okay. It is such a tone change.
Oh, yeah.
It's like me and my daddy, we're great. I love him so much. And now he's dead.
Yeah. And then it's like into a super like poppy 80s theme song that has like a slapping bass line and synthesizer. Oh yeah, it's great. Oh man. Yeah, there's some total whiplash in this show, which is very funny. I
Mm-hmm.
love some whiplash. It's like me tonal, not physical. How my neck. But yes, it was great. So when we come back from the theme song, we are seeing mechs doing push-ups
Which is so
because
fucking funny.
I don't know why the mechs need to do push-ups. Maybe it's to get them. Oh, it's probably to get them used to doing like these physical movements.
That's
Yes.
exactly what it is. But every time I see it, I'm just like, this is such a dumb fucking visual. I get it, but like, come on.
I know. It's really funny. And like Noriko is like staring out the window, watching them all, just daydreaming about her girl crush Amano and how great she is and stuff like that. And then we cut to her doing her physical training and she's like crushing it. She's like doing 200 in a row for skipping, which is very hard to do.
Hell yeah.
So like we see that this girl like physically can do this. Just turns out she just can't translate that to operating a mech, which sucks, but I guess it's what you gotta do. And then, you know, girls in mechs come over and start bullying her because high school sucks, everybody. But don't worry, because Amano is going to come over and she's going to save her and she's going to give her one of her hair ties and now she's just going to like swoon over her.
My God. Amano comes out of that mech with like sparkles in the sky and just like causing all kinds of bi panic for Noriko.
Yeah, I was going to say a fantasy girl love just panic. Holy moly. Yeah, when this happened, I was like, is this a girl love series? What is happening?
Oh, man. And they had to make her look as good as possible coming out. Like full on, oh my God, like look at this beautiful girl and all of her beautiful features. And look how nice she is.
Oh my gosh, she's so sweet. She's sticking up for the girl getting bullied. She's going to be a good character. And we're like, yeah, she is. Yep,
she has her moments of being a bitch, but it's always for a good reason.
100%. But yeah, again, you see those and you're like, you're valid in having these feelings and you are correct.
Exactly.
We cut to all the mechs standing ready for training, and there's a new coach that he's there to whip them into shape. And he does this by getting them to run laps while their balancers are off so that they can, I don't know, learn how to run in a mech. But of course, Noriko cannot do this. And so she has to do her 50 laps on foot, which sucks. And after this, Noriko is selected to, like, there's only 2 people that get this job, and the first one's Amano, which makes sense because she's perfect. And then the other one is Noriko. And people are like, what the fuck? And they're like, this is obviously nepotism. You know who her father is.
And you feel bad because like
not happy about it.
It's the Nepo baby blues, but she also wasn't asking to be a Nepo baby.
No, that's the thing is like she's genuinely trying to do well. And she is passionate about doing this. She's just unfortunately doesn't have the skill to follow it up.
Physically assaulting her.
They try to shank her.
They put tacks on her seat.
Yeah. I was like, girls, I get that you're upset, but wow, that's rough.
She's like crying, and I'm like, damn, girl.
Right? She's like, I can't do this. Like, I'm done. Like, and then the coach is like, no, you can do it. Here's a motivational speech. And you can train hard. And it's like, Amano is like running with concrete boots on, like she just saw the mafia. And then, so she's like, we get this montage of her just like training, working out, doing great, blah, 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 trying to like actually improve herself. And then she's in the bathroom and the bully with the receding hairline just comes up and is like, you, me, in the parking lot out back after school, bring your Mac. And she's like, yeah. Do you like that descriptor?
Yeah, it's a good one. She's got a very large forehead.
She does. I'm like, it's like a $6 Uber trip to get from her eyebrows to her hairline. What is going on?
Oh my God.
Oh man. So yeah, they meet up. The fight happens. It's brutal. Man. Like, I was like, she's gonna kill her, which is kind of an overreaction. Like, it makes me think of the mermaids from Peter Pan. They're like, we weren't gonna kill her. We were just gonna maim her. And you're like, Not better?
Nope. Just as bad,
Don't-
technically.
Don't do any of that, please. But yeah, that's episode 1. It's just her getting bullied and then getting chosen to go to space.
On a quick comment on the animation in this,
Okay.
every movement matters. Like when she's like in the battle, because she ends up winning the battle. You're missing that part. She does win the battle.
Oh, yeah.
But in it, as she's like thrusting her hands along to like move the arms of the robot, each finger is touching a different button along the same handles as she's moving. Every single thing is animated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, oh, normally you just get the hands are moving. But this one's like, no, every finger is doing a thing. And it's great.
Yeah, that's one thing about Gynax. They don't cheap out.
Admittedly, after watching the first episode, you're kind of like, so why was she chosen? There's got to be a good reason here. Like, is Coach a psychic and he can sense latent abilities or...
Right? And we'll get into this later, but I'm just like, genuinely, why was she chosen? Like, nepotism, I feel like when it comes to, like, physically doing, like, fighting, I feel like nepotism can only get you so far. And, like, at some point, you do have to have the talent in order to execute the technique.
Yeah, like, you can have a famous boxer daddy who gets you into the UFC, but if you don't have any arms or feet, you're gonna lose.
Yeah, 100%. She's a liability.
Multiple times she's a liability. Even in episode 2. So many times
she's a liability in battle.
She's a liability.
Like I feel like if we're fighting aliens, like maybe we shouldn't make their job easier by throwing someone in who's gonna get other people killed. I don't know. Like I don't know warfare. I'm not like trained in logistics and battle and blah blah blah, all that fun stuff. I'm not trained in it, so I don't really have any legs to stand on in this. But like I feel like you shouldn't have people who are liabilities when it comes to battle. That's my thoughts.
I agree.
Great. Episode 2, we go to space. It's great.
It's a huge ass ship.
It's a huge ship. Oh my gosh.
Oh, sorry.
Man.
Also.
Oh, okay. Yes.
A total change thing again at the start of this, because it's another dark start, and it's like the dad dying in
ship
space.
Crash. Yeah.
And like he's like looking at his daughter on this video message card she sent him, and it's just repeating it over and over again, saying how much she loves him. But then it cuts to the theme song again.
I know. I was like, I was like, we should have had a different theme song, or figured out a better way to go into it.
Oh my god, I laugh every fucking time.
It's so funny because it does not fit the tone. Oh man. Yep. Oh yeah, I literally wrote my notes right into Happy 80s theme. So again, we go to present day. We're at the Excellior. Excellior? Is that the right name? Excellior. And we meet a redhead comrade Freud.
Freund?
Freund. There's no N in that. I don't know why I added an N. Anyways, she has a bad Russian accent. Like already she's picking a fight with Noriko, trying to kill her in a fight outside in their mechs. And
what is it with sci-fi and like always having to have the like angry cocky character be a redhead?
I have no idea. Maybe
like, if you gave that character a German accent, it's Asuka.
100%. It absolutely is Asuka. Maybe she's the precursor for Asuka.
Maybe. This whole battle thing is so dumb. Like, what is it proving other than the fact that you're not good at following your orders?
I think what it is it's a way to get us to see the weird Mothman alien corpse thing.
100% for that side of it. Absolutely, yeah. Because the aliens are huge.
They're weird. They're beautiful. I love their design. Like all of the weird, like almost fluorescent colors and the kind of organic shapes. And they look like, venomous flowers from the rainforest or whatever. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah. Also, during this fight, Noriko calls for her daddy. So,
girl, you can't do that in space combat.
No, nobody gives a shit.
No, not because of that.
Oh,
because he's dead and he can't help you.
Oh well, yeah, that too. Yeah, I thought it was because in space nobody can hear you scream.
Oh no. I love that they get in so much shit for this. But then are instantly given a pass because they're special. Again,
they could have gone to jail, but we'll let you get by this time.
All right, it's time for titties.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So we go to a bath scene because of course we do, because it's anime. And yep, jiggle physics in space. So just for everybody listening, it's episode 2, jiggle physics in space. If you're gonna go watch this, that's what you're looking for.
And they put
Episode
most
2.
of the jizzle. Just God, I keep saying jizzle physics.
I mean,
Jiggle
the
physics.
bounce of them can cause them jizzle physics. Some people watching it.
Look, as a kid, did I put this VHS tape in
Did you get jizzle
after
physics?
the parents went to bed? Maybe. But man, they gave Jung like the most of the jizzle physics. Oh my God, jiggle.
And she like has a basic instinct part where she just like, you basically like she crosses her legs and you just get straight down the barrel at her eye of Sauron. Like, holy moly. I was like, this is a lot.
Also, whose idea was it to put the boys' outdoor space run along the bath route?
It's anime, Mackenzie.
Right, sorry. Forgot.
You should know better.
My bad.
Oh man. Well, after this, some weird thing enters Neptune's orbit, and so the coach wants to send the girls to investigate. There's a Rip Van Winkle reference in terms of dilation, light speed travel. Turns out they get there. It's a spaceship from Earth. It's the Luxion, which is the one that Noriko's dad was on. So
Ooh, that's
yeah,
rough.
that's
'Cause
super rough.
For her dad, she learns that technically has only been 2 days since the incident. Oh, did you not pick up on that?
Man, no.
Yeah, so that ship had only been 2 days since it was attacked, but for her it had been like a decade.
Man, that's brutal.
Boy, does she handle this well, huh?
Oh man, just so much good emotional regulation and logic here. Just kidding. She says, fuck all y'all and fuck this mission. I need to go find my daddy. And puts so much stuff in like just a bad situation to go and find her dad, who's obviously dead. And Coach has to go in and retrieve her.
Okay, here's my problem.
Okay.
She goes to rip open the door of the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
What if her father was sealed in there and she just like all the air? Because the whole spaceship is open because of the explosions on the hull, and she just rips open this door. And if her dad was alive in there, now he'd be dead anyways.
It would have been like that one episode of Magic School Bus with Arnold when he takes his helmet off in space.
Except a lot gooier.
Yeah, it wouldn't have ended as well. Arnold just had a cold. Oh man. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's just, I don't know. Well, and then the thing is they go back and I guess there's a party going on for their return, but the dead dad kind of ruins the mood.
They were 12 seconds over time, and it was 6 months back on Earth. And the party was the sending off of the ship they were building, the big fancy ship.
Oh, okay.
But what's stupid is everyone's in suits, but they just left the girls in their like ass out gear for like no reason.
No,
I was like, what? Let them put on some suits.
Mackenzie,
I know it's anime. I know it's the reason is anime. Say. I know
the
that's
reason
what I
is
always
anime.
say. Stop quoting me on my own.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not like getting things thrown back in your face?
I was there when the lore was written. That's basically episode 2.
Yeah, it's episode 2, guys. We're quarter? No, we're a third of the way through this. Math, motherfucker. So we're moving on to episode 3. Oh my gosh. Okay. The start of it is just science shit rolling across the screen. I have a BFA. I didn't pay attention to it because I went, what?
No, I was going to message you and be like, don't worry about making notes about the 3 minutes of a 2021 dissertation on space travel.
Okay, good. Because, no.
No, but then I realized I didn't need to say that because I knew you wouldn't anyways.
I barely passed Neuroscience 1000 in university.
I didn't even read it. I just like looked away at my phone while it was going because I just couldn't be asked.
No, me neither.
But I do love.
I feel like people don't come to this podcast for science, space travel, physics dissertations.
No, probably not.
Our hot takes on it.
There you go. I do love that this is still technically like a slice of life anime because like just everyday life for these girls. They're having a slumber party.
Oh, I love the slumber party and they're playing Truth or Dare.
And like telling ghost stories and they're like actually
scared. Oh my
scared.
gosh, it's so cute. I love it. And like while they're doing this, like Noriko pulls the short straw or whatever and she has to do this dare. She's like, I don't want to. I'm scared. And they're like, too bad, bitch. And they like shove her out into the dark hallway. and she has to like tie her hair tie around something to like prove that she went and
Top
did
of a
this.
ladder. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she's doing this and she runs into this bland man who I just called Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, I thought he
Um
sounded like Woody Harrelson.
oh, maybe that's who I'm thinking. I'm thinking of basic stoner white guy.
It's totally Woody Harrelson. All of my
It
notes called
100%
him Woody
is.
Harrelson.
Yeah, he comes up and he's like, "Here, I'll tie this up there for you, you know, to be sweet," and blah blah blah. And they're like having a moment, and then they're caught by Coach, and so they have to clean and polish space lenses or something in their mech suits.
Yeah. So these ships use like lasers instead of a lot of like just missiles.
Mhm.
They use concentrated light laser beams as their like weapons.
Probably lighter than carrying around all that ammo.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they have to like polish them, and while they're outside talking, there's an alien attack. The alarms go off, and we know this because the captain and his crew are having a sushi dinner. That is interrupted by these alarms. So we have to go into offense now. And Noriko is on the subway, and she meets Smith, aka Woody Harrelson, again.
Yes.
While she's studying, and she gets mad at him because he says something to her about reading. I don't know. It's like,
he's basically like he basically says, "You don't need to read to be a good pilot. Stop studying."
yeah.
And she's like, "Bitch,
And
I'm 6 months behind."
I
Like-
have to actually do some work
Also,
Yeah.
why did she take a sip from the drink that she left him or that he left her?
because
That doesn't. Maybe it's not really her fault. Maybe I just blame society for making me wary of that kind of thing. But like, if someone just like gives me a half finished drink, ain't no fucking way I'm drinking that.
the ship makes it to Leaf 64, which is a red giant, that they're like, that's weird. It shouldn't be a red giant. It should be just like our sun. What is going on? That's weird. Anyways, we're gonna cut to now to Noriko overhearing Amano talking about how incompetent she is and how she's not ready to fight to coach. And the coach is like, she's going regardless. I don't even care. And oh man, Amano says something brutal in return, and she says, "I don't want to be her partner anymore." And they can find someone else to bring her corpse back.
Yeah.
That was fucking brutal. Holy moly.
It sounds like she's being a bitch, but she's not.
No,
She's
she's
like-
completely valid in all of these concerns that she's
Yeah.
bringing to coach.
She's not ready. She's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Please
She is a
stop.
liability to the operation.
Mhm.
And it's still just like, no, she has to do it. And I'm like, I genuinely don't understand why she needs to do this. It's not clear.
Hey, at least she gets to partner with Smith.
Yeah, Smith is like, you know what? I'll be your partner. I don't have anybody. This is fine. And so they do, and they go into the defense. Or no, they go outside to, do their job. And Smith is like, I know you're not confident. That's fine. I can go offense. You do defense. Like, we'll make this work. It'll be great. Plot twist, it doesn't go great. Smith dies.
Girl just like freezes.
She's not a good fighter. She's not a good person for this position. And so yeah, Smith just fucking dies. It's just it's not good. And it's like, turns out the hostile, like the aliens like lured them to this star for like an ambush. And so the captain's like, well, we need to get out of here ASAP. Like, they're calling for everybody to go back to the ship. And oh my gosh, she doesn't go because she has to find Smith or something like that. And it's just like, girl, he's dead. Go. You need to go. Like, I just question so many people's decisions in this thing. It just doesn't even make sense. And then she's crying about Smith to the coach. Or she wants to know what she can do to be better. I don't know. And then we finish this episode just like cut to the surface of the Red Giant. And there's like just this weird ship that emerges from it and then just like spores out into the world. So that's gonna suck for the future. Do we know what that means? No, but
Look, we end with another training montage because we need more montages at all times. I think this is like our third montage.
And it's the third episode.
Like one montage an episode.
Yeah, I think that's a good quota. It's like, what was that other one? Miku. Metal Fighter Miku.
Yes. I like when we come into episode 4 and it just kind of adds that whole like this is a teen girl show at the root of it because they're like in the showers just like having rumors about people sleeping with the teachers
I
and
know. I did like that. I was like, oh my goodness.
blaming Noriko for it when in reality it was Amano who's totally sleeping with the teacher.
She was like, haha, misdirection. If everybody thinks it's her, they'll never suspect it's me.
Also, holy
I've been
Jung's
here the whole
bikini.
time.
That is some underboob.
Lord. Yeah. Wow. I mean, if you can draw underboob, why not make it the best underboob anybody could ever physically see?
Look, we're just jealous that we don't have underboob like that.
It would require me to have boobs, which I don't have. I don't know what happened. They got lost in the mail. Anyways, we have another training scene because of course we do. And the camera angle is just right up her crotch because anime.
These girls treat these giant robots like toys, but they're expensive.
They're so expensive. The other thing we get during this training montage is Coach saying, never be the fool who sacrifices themselves for someone else.
Which is good advice for Noriko.
Yeah. He was like, bitch, you need to hear this. Stop trying to save people. Just save yourself. Just everyone for themselves. We'll figure it out. Yeah, and from here, Russian Girl challenges her to another fight. I feel like we got a fight. We get a bully fight and a training montage every episode. And they like get out into space to do this fight, and Noriko just immediately breaks down and starts having flashbacks to
Smith.
I can't. And so the Russian Girl gets reamed for doing this.
Well, again,
was like, what are you doing?
Stop randomly fighting people.
Can you, right? Like, we're trying to fight aliens. Stop trying to fight each other. Like, let's go, girl. Get it together. We're all on the same team, even though we're from different countries. We're still from planet Earth. We're all human. And isn't that a good message, especially this holiday season?
Yes, it is. It is.
Coach get asked, like, when will you stop trying to make her a pilot? Because she clearly can't do it. And then he gives us some sort of metaphor about milk. It's like if you spill milk, you can always go get another glass. And I was like, what the fuck does that have to do with any of this?
Well, they're
just
saying
go get a different pilot. Is that what you're saying?
It's don't cry over spilled milk. Just go get more milk. There's always more milk, which is both a
Unless
good and bad
the
way
aliens
to look at
attack
things.
Earth and then lay their eggs here and end humanity, then there's no more milk. So that's why we need to fucking focus.
Well,
I thought
we do get to meet the aliens.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. When they said we have to enter our final warp to get back home, but we have to make sure the enemy doesn't follow. And I was like, the fact that you said that tells me that the enemy is going to follow. And guess what?
They do.
They do. They absolutely do.
God, I love these enemy ships so fucking much.
They're so cool.
You wouldn't think color would make something seem intimidating, but because they're like plant and bug based, the color just makes them feel so much more alien and very like Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind like, which makes sense because Anno did work on that. But like, it's just, it feels so toxic and just like spooky. And I love them so much. So I love organic looking aliens. Don't give me that like, oh, we've got a bunch of robots. They have robots, sure, but not all of it. Grow them ships, baby. Also, why do none of these ships have shields yet? They're just tanking hits.
I guess nobody thought shields would be a good idea.
Guess we haven't hit that part for all this advanced tech. We just haven't quite hit that level.
They haven't leveled up yet. They haven't gotten shield yet. That's a level 3 thing. They're only a level 2. That's the only reason I could think. I don't know. Hideki Anno, get at us. Let us know why they don't have shields.
But they're getting their asses kicked.
Oh, absolutely. And guess what? Noriko gets put on standby, so she doesn't actually have to go out. And then she cries about it. And
even though she cried about having to go out last time.
Right? I was like, I don't understand. Like, honestly, she's just, it's at the point where it's just pathetic. And it's just, it's fine. It's fine.
We finally get the titular mecha of the series. It's only over halfway through the series and we finally just get the actual Gunbuster.
I thought all of the mechs were Gunbusters. Sorry, I just saw my note that says, honestly, episode 4 and I'm over Noriko's sad sack shit. I was not having it apparently while I was watching this. Oh my gosh. But yeah, Noriko, having proved herself to be a good fighter at this point and definitely could pull it out and do it, decides that she's going to go rogue and take out this big machine that is like not finished, but apparently like a huge weapon for this army. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to take it out and I'm going to save everybody and kill all these aliens. But there's only 10 minutes of power. So she's got to be
Very
fast.
Evangelion-like.
So Evangelion, like, oh man. So she like oves up and is actually kind of good in battle. She ramps an
Also,
alien ship.
this ship is massive compared to everything else that the Earth forces are using.
Right? The battle feels so uneven.
Because, like, the Earth Force mechas are, like, I don't know, as tall as, like, a house with, like, a 2-story
Mm-hmm.
house. This thing can hold one of those in its hands.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, why don't you
Yeah.
have more of these?
You guys can totally take this. It's fine.
Now, I know
Man.
Earth technically isn't that technologically advanced compared, like, for the timelines. Like, I get it. But, like, damn, put a bit more effort into making more of these things.
It's fine. We got a 70-kilometer one coming next episode. Oh, man.
This battle does not seem difficult.
No, she literally just flies to the nose of the ship, sticks her hands in, and just
Well, she does get
electric-
stabbed through the chest, but, like, still,
I know,
literally
I was like-
electrocutes it until it blows up.
yeah, just like shocking grabs and it's done. You're like, oh,
It wasn't
okay.
epic enough. And I know that's not our final battle, but I was like, this could have been so much more. Like, the
Yep.
thing, like, yeah, you shot some aliens, you saw some cool explosions, that's great. But then it was like, you stab me, I grab you, you blow up. Goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah, the tempo, I guess, of the battle seemed very strange.
I love that they're trying to be all serious and everyone's like happy and crying. They've lost people, they've saved people, but it's just the theme song in the background just bopping
I
along.
know. That theme song, it's just like I like would expect like someone to like they're doing Smith's funeral and they're getting ready to like send him out the airlock and give him the proper like, you know, army funeral whatever, and then this song is just like do 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 do. Like I would love that so much. Or it's like you've got space radiation poisoning and you've got 6 months left to live, and then do do do.
And you know that Noriko would be in her bodysuit at the funeral too, because of course she would be.
Just like doing the Carlton or whatever in her tiny little her French cut bodysuit with the cutouts on the side. Oh yeah, it'd be great.
What is really sad about the end of this is that it's now been a fucking decade on Earth.
So that theme song is going to be out of date.
Ooh.
So dated.
And like, why did they give them a high school graduation ceremony?
I know. They're like, just for the two of you. Here you go. It's 10
Literally
years late.
just the two of them. Also, I'm pretty sure they were still, maybe I'm wrong, but I think, were they still in their uniforms? No, they had normal clothes on, I think.
No, they had normal clothes on for this. They had like
Okay.
like a knee-length skirt on.
I was like, why are they doing this? And then I remembered, oh, right, a decade. And then I remembered she had friends on Earth
Mm-hmm.
that aged without her. 6 months
Oh,
is
yeah.
one thing.
Yeah.
A decade?
Like you're in a
Oh.
completely different period of your life. And we see this because her one friend, like, they run into each other on the street or whatever, and she's like a fucking 3-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
She's like
and
27.
and oh my gosh, the thing is, like, I love that later on Noriko like calls the house to talk to her friend, and the 3-year-old picks up and is like, nobody's home right now. And I'm like, they left their 3-year-old at home alone? Can you do that in Japan? Is that okay? Is that normal?
No, I don't believe it is.
I was gonna say, because like my nephew is 3 and I would not trust him to stay home alone.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Another depressing side that you need to think of with time dilation is that it also applies to her friends. They have a decade of waiting to find out if their friend's alive.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's gotta suck. You just eventually just
Oh,
have to
yeah.
forget about them, right? Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
oh,
That's even your family. It's like, can you imagine if your family member's like, hey, I'm going on this mission. I'll be back in a decade, maybe.
right? You're just like, what do you mean maybe? I can't talk to you for this whole decade.
Right? If
Just
I'm going
gonna
to
be
send
2
you a
minutes
message,
for
it's going to
me.
get to you like in 6 years.
See ya.
Oh man.
Look, we don't have time to keep talking about this depressing shit. We have to talk about boob physics.
Oh my gosh, the boobs. She's laying on a bed and in a tank top. And we all know what happens when you have boobs and you wear a tank top to bed. They go on an adventure. And
this-
both of them did. Holy moly. I was like, girl, just don't even wear a shirt at this point.
But the funny thing is that it's like they clearly were watching someone do this and referencing it because it is almost exact how it would look if you fell back on your bed in a loose tank top. Like the amount of effort they put in to make this boob physic look so realistic is so fucking funny.
This is where the budget went.
100%.
Oh
Like,
man.
damn. They were like fan service, but with style.
I was like, oh, we're gonna put on the white gloves for this fan service. Deliver you this beautiful titty scene. Yes, she's wearing a tank top.
It's time to get back to depressing.
Great. Yeah, yeah, you're right. We got to go back to depressing because Coach hits Amano and then starts coughing up blood later on when Noriko finds him. Turns out he's dying.
Good old radiation poisoning.
Woo, radiation poisoning. Oh, and then we get a vibe with Whiplash again. Because then we cut to them just on the beach, toplessly sunbathing. Toplessly? It's a verb? I don't know. Oh, man. And then, cut back again now. Coach is dying again. He says that she needs to take the Gunbuster and Amano, and that just the two of them have to go, and they are enough to win against the aliens. The 2 billion aliens that are coming to fight them.
Quite literally. They're like, well, so far we can see 100 million of them. There is more alien than there is space on our radar. We estimate close to 2 billion. That's insane.
And you're sending in 2 people?
Well, they send in like a whole fucking... They send in basically all of Earth's forces. But primarily, yes, just the 2 people.
Yeah, because Coach definitely says the 2 of them are enough to win. And I was like, I highly doubt that. I feel like the odds are not in their favor. Like, even Effie Trinket would be like, ooh, girl.
The plan's kind of cool, though. Like, create a fucking black hole and suck everything in.
I mean, black holes are cool. They do cool things in space. I guess that's a good plan. I don't know astrophysics, but I do know that black holes get shit done. Why is your face in your hands?
No, I thought you were going to say something else.
Did you think I was going to say something about butts?
No.
Oh. The dark side of the moon. Sorry.
You wouldn't think that Amano would end up being the weak one.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like flying in to do this whole big plan of like collapsing a ship's core to cause a black hole. But then she is like, no, I can't do this. If I'm gone for more than a couple seconds, Coach will be dead by the time I get back. Mm-hmm. Girl, you're supposed to be the one that's chill and telling everyone else to stay the fuck home.
Oh my gosh. I was like, get your emotion. Like, your emotions are valid. I completely understand that someone that you love is dying and they might be dead by the time you get back. But guess what? You know who else will be dead if you don't focus and get this job done? Fucking everybody on Earth. So like,
she's just like pulling a Shinji. This one person is more important. But then she like gets a motivational speech from Noriko and then flashes right back. She's like, you're right, we got this. And I'm like, what was the point of the fucking thing in the first place then? Just have an epic moment. I love that the explosions happening in these next couple scenes are like all this like hand-painted watercolor 90s arcade floor mats.
Yeah. Those were great.
Like, damn.
I was like, back at a Chuck E. Cheese, baby.
Literally, yeah. Very stylized like that, but it just works for some reason.
Well, and I also really love that we get like a Magic Girl mech transformation.
Did you think that they were just going to fly in planes? Did you think that they were going to actually have those transform into a fucking Gunbuster?
I don't know what I thought, but I was really excited to see it. I was like, heck yeah, look at how smooth that transition is. And look at how they fit together so nicely to make some badass fucking mech.
What's funny is that mech design is actually kind of controversial.
Oh,
and even,
why is it controversial?
Ano regrets giving it a single eye. He says that was a bad choice.
Why?
I like the head. A lot of people didn't like the head. I don't know. For some reason, he was like, it's just a bad idea.
Great. We know that Hideki Anno wants more than one eye for his mechs now. All right. But yes, so we go back and Gunbuster did the job. Huzzah!
Did you say Gunbastard?
Yes, the Gunbastard does his job. No, I said the Gunbuster. He does his job. Earth is safe now, and Coach is still alive. That was my note.
Oh, I was going to talk about the battle a bit more.
Sure, we can talk about the battle a bit more.
Because they're like snowboarding on these ships in space. Just like riding them along that fresh space powder.
Oh man, it's very Treasure Island.
Much like most shonen anime, they're calling out the names of the moves that their Gunbuster is doing. Which I freaking love. Just like how I love when people do it with magic spells. They're like, Gunbuster missile attack and like Gunbuster finger rockets. And I'm just like, keep doing it. Say something dumb. Gunbuster butt beam. Like, just give me more. More. And then, yeah, they land at the hospital because they're the only ones left that like fly back to Earth because everyone got the fuck out of there because, black hole.
Yeah, you kind of want to not stick around.
And they just like go straight to the hospital to get Coach because, one of them's fucking him. The other one thinks he's daddy, but in the dad way. One thinks he's daddy and one thinks she's father. Took you a second?
It did, but I connected the dots and we got there. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. The last horse finally crossed the finish line. I don't understand how I didn't get a daddy joke right off the bat.
But he survived the 6 months.
Good for him. It seemed like he made it like actually quite a bit after that. Because in episode 6, we see his tombstone.
He survived for another 15 years.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, it seemed like it was quite a long time.
Episode 6, the black and white episode.
Is there a reason it's the black and white episode that I didn't catch?
So for the final episode, Toshio Okada wrote in his memoir that he wanted it to be black and white because it felt more like old school science fiction and futuristic. So it was kind of like an homage to old fantasy and sci-fi films from like the 60s and 70s.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, I actually quite like it in black and white.
It was nice. Yeah.
For some reason, just fit. So like, not too bad. Apparently this is, like we had mentioned with Coach, 15 years in the future. And there's a space gondola.
Oh yeah, there's a space, okay, the space gondola was so cool. And I was like, I want this. Maybe in 2045 we will.
I don't trust regular gondolas.
Oh, I love a gondola, but I just love looking at the woods. I don't know.
So again, kind of coming back to Evangelion.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice any specific similarities here?
Nope.
With the state of the Earth?
Oh, that there's an axis? The axis is tilted because of the explosion?
The black hole tilted the axis and caused flooding and yada, 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 just like in Evangelion from the second impact.
Did clock that. I was like, I need to pay attention to this science lesson, otherwise Mackenzie's going to get mad at me. The main, plot point of this episode is that they need to explode a giant black hole bomb to end the aliens once and for all, because now there's 8 billion aliens, and that's not me being dramatic. They literally say 8 billion aliens.
Yeah, they got to go to their home world and suck that shit up.
So because of this, Amano and Noriko need to reunite to do this, which is lovely. Have a little tea time, have a little girl chat, which instantly sours and gets really sad when Amano gives her a letter from her friend from Earth. It's so depressing because she's like, can you come to my birthday? And all this stuff. And oh my gosh, it's basically the whole entire thing is them asking if she'll promise to come to their birthday and live.
Mm-hmm. Well, because she doesn't know if it's going to be 6 years, 10 years, or 50 years by the time they get back. And to jump back a little bit real quick, because I got to comment on this.
Okay.
First off, the guy that's in the gondola with Amano.
Oh, yeah.
Is we should just give in at this point. We should just let it happen. We should just... And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Stop accepting yourself as a doomed species, you bastard. Fight till the end.
I was like, yeah, is it really worth it?
Girl, no. Fight till the fucking end.
Oh, everything sucks, though.
Of course, Noriko has to stay a teenage girl. She can't have aged.
No,
she's up
still
in
17.
Space. It's been a couple months for her.
Yeah.
And that's
it. But it's been forever for other people. Also, oh, man.
Did you notice the space dolphin?
I did notice the space dolphin, and it was fabulous. I was like, I like space now. There's dolphins in uniforms that are on bridges to help us with science shit.
It's very Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Ooh,
just smart dolphins now in space. Can you imagine coming back from space? It's been 15 years, and it's go see your commanding officer, and opens the door, and it's
it's thanks for the fish.
And then Google Translate has to kick in and give you the words in a robotic voice.
Oh man, that feels very Umbrella Academy with the goldfish who's the head of the organization.
But they have a plan.
They do have a plan. They have a massive bomb.
Well, kind of a bomb.
It creates a black hole. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of science shit that I didn't pay attention to.
They basically took Jupiter and then used this like ship to condense it down and create like this intense amount of pressure to trigger a black hole.
I just remember it being massive and kind of looking like a butt plug.
It looks like an egg.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
There's
I
no
guess it
base
doesn't have
on
a
that.
flared base. Oh man,
Oh,
it's just
man.
gonna go occupy some space. And then yeah, we also get like a weird chat about this one person being like, I think there is a god because the aliens
Oh
can't
my God.
escape. I really enjoyed this.
Love this fucking scene so much.
Oh man, they're like, there's a god because it's a miracle because the alien where we win, the aliens can't. There's 11 minutes and the aliens can't warp in that amount of time or something.
Mhm.
And then the next thing is literally they're like, the aliens are warping, and they're like, what?
Where is your god now?
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yep. So aliens are warping out, and now the bomb is not going off, and the implosion has been stalled. So everything's not looking good, and Noriko decides that she's going to sacrifice herself to trigger the explosion. Amano says she's going to go with her so that they can go back together. She's like, you're not going to die. I'm going to save you. We're going to be fine. And then the Soviet is like, I will come with you. I don't know what accent that was.
Okay. It's such a pointless fucking scene having Jung there. She, like,
Literally.
She shows up, her mech gets crushed by the pressure, and they're like, we don't need you. Just please leave. We'll see you in the future. And she's like, okay, and leaves. You wasted a good fucking mech.
Right? We had, well, she wasted a mech and she wasted time. Girl, time dilation, bitch. We only have 11 minutes. We got to figure this shit out. Stop trying to, you're not coming with us. It's fine. But I mean, I guess we have to have her there so that she can tell them that, like, I'm going to have a party for when you return. And they're like, oh, honey, if we return, you're going to be dead.
Look, the sisterhood, the sacrifice. It's emotional.
The sisterhood of the French cut bodysuits. Tell me I'm wrong.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of the next scene with.
Oh my gosh, I just saw my note saying what the next scene was. Yes, so they get to the center of the giant butt plug bomb. And so the plan is to like use the heart of the Gunbuster to trigger the implosion so that they can win. Okay? That sounds cool. I mean, this Gunbuster is a big thing of science and is just, you know, I'm sure I trust it. I trust the science. I'm not going to double check it. In order to do this, she has to rip her own shirt off.
No. She doesn't have to.
I know she doesn't have to. But she does. She rips her own shirt off, both titties now out, in order to reach into her own mech to pull out this heart.
She basically gave herself her own Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake moment.
100%.
I'm picturing Ano sitting there doing like the storyboarding as like directing and being like, look, I know this is a very serious moment, but it needs one last boob for humanity's sake.
Oh my gosh. Just one tit for the road.
One tit for the road.
One titty. They pull it out. They're successful. Yay, we win. Except, oh my gosh, it's so depressing because Noriko literally like just says, I'm sorry, Kimiko. I can't keep my promise.
Oof.
And then there's just the implosion. And you're like, did she die? What is going on? And like, oh my gosh, it's brutal. Again, Hideki Anno. Why are we surprised that it's brutal? Again, I have not seen the last 6 episodes of Evangelion, and I'm so nervous.
It's also brutal.
Merry Christmas.
Let's talk some more time dilation.
Yeah, they come back to Earth, and it's been 12,000 years. 12,000. That's 3 zeros.
And the
That's
Earth
so long.
is completely black.
Could you imagine?
Like thinking you're
Like-
the only people left on the planet.
Yeah. I would be like, why did we not just die? Like, open the hatches. Let's just, because what? And then there's no lights, but then all of a sudden lights start flicking on and they're lights in Okinawa and it just says like, welcome back or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
12,000 years later, and they welcomed them back home to an Earth that still
Man.
exists. But nothing would be the fucking same. That's the terrifying thing.
oh
Cities,
yeah.
countries, food, clothing, math, science. You are a
Technology?
caveman compared to these people.
100%. It's going to be such
That's
a shock to them.
terrifying to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's already bad enough getting into like a new job and being like, I don't understand any of this tech that's kind of new and going on. People don't understand quite how long 12,000 years is when it comes to humanity.
That's 12 millenniums.
Yeah, we're in 2000 AC. Times that by 6. And see how much has changed in the last 2,000 years alone.
The other thing I noticed is that Noriko just tits out this entire journey.
I was going to say, she's just free titting it.
Oh, man. Yeah. I don't know. Because, like, sorry, I had to say the boob comment. But also, going back to, like, the difference, like, I was listening to a interview with Damien Eccles this week from the West Memphis 3, and he was talking about, like, so he was in jail for 18 years and just getting out, and he wasn't able to function. Like, and that was 18 years, not 12,000 years. Like, I have no idea how these, like, it's a happy ending, but also at the same time, you're like, what are they? What's going to happen to them?
I was going to say, it's kind of not a happy ending, though, because like, that's everyone you know and love is gone. You are literally alone. You know one person, that's the person beside you. No one else.
And that's also
they're not even remembered. It's 12. If it'd be different, it's like 100 years, 200 years.
They would be remembered because they would have to know in order to.
No, they would be. But no one else you know. You could be like, oh yeah, my friend James. No one knows James. It's been 12,000 years. There have been billions of people that have lived and died. No one matters beyond the two of you that are arriving now. That's it.
Well, and the other thing you have to think about is, like, from an evolution standpoint, like, what is, like, are they even able to function on this earth anymore?
Are their immune systems too weak for what's going on? Are they, like, imagine the inoculations they're going to have to get. So we've had about 400 different pandemics since then, each of them incredibly deadly. You need to be inoculated against all of this, or else you will die.
Yeah.
Like, your body hasn't had time to slowly adjust. Like, that's a lot of generations. Holy shit.
And it's also thinking about it the other way. Like, maybe there's certain diseases or bacteria.
Maybe she had a
or
common cold that people haven't experienced.
Exactly.
In
like
millennia.
Like, it's all so crazy to think about. Yeah. I guess when you go really deep into it, you're like, yeah, welcome back. But also, are you going to be able to survive now?
Yeah.
Like, did you make this? Yeah. Did you make this log trek just to slowly disintegrate on a planet that you're no longer adapted to?
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Well, all right. You've watched all of Gunbuster.
I have.
You had some complaints about the motives.
Yeah.
Some comments on the fashion.
Yeah.
But overall, you enjoyed yourself?
Yeah.
You okay there? A little broken?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, a little bit broken. It's fun. It's a good series. I think people should watch it, but it has its flaws, just like everything else. But it is like, it's a cool series. It's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, go watch this. Tell me what you think.
I'm going to give you a little... we'll probably watch Gunbuster, which is the sequel, at one point. Do you want to know what their pilots are called in the future?
I don't know. It's going to be something... is it like the titty pilots or something? I don't know.
Fucking close.
Are you look me in the eye? Are you serious?
The pilots are called Topless.
Burn it all to the ground. Just set up. You know what? You remember when we were talking about the guy on the gondola who was like, why should we still be fighting it? Well, like, can we not just like just end it? Just end it. End it.
Well, what would you rate this series?
I hate it.
Honestly, ignoring the Topless, what would you rate this series?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, that's tainted it. Did Hideki Anno do that one too? Did he come up with Topless?
Hideki Anno was the storyboarding, key animation, and planning supervisor and producer. So, what would you rate this?
It's a space epic and it's a battle. So that is and it's Hideki Anno. So I feel like it's gonna be really high. And there's boobies and crotch shots. I want to say like 7.64.
Close.
Oh.
This is a 7.85.
Okay. Yeah.
Rated only by 55,000 users.
I don't know if that's a lot.
Not really.
Okay.
Modern anime gets like hundreds of thousands.
Oh, okay. Well, if anybody wants to watch a retro one, watch this one. There's boobs in it. Boobs.
What would you rate it?
Oh no, that's a dangerous question. We're gonna get emails. I want to say like Oh gosh, please don't at me. Please don't threaten me in the comments or anybody. I don't know. I was 6.1.
Oh wow, it's low for you.
It's not. It's not awful. Am I going to watch it again? Probably not. But yeah, it's not my take. I'm going to watch Alien. If I want aliens, it's going to be Alien.
Fair.
I want Sigourney Weaver, and I want a cat, and I want a xenomorph, and I want just craziness. I'll even take Resurrection with Ron Perlman and the guy from The Crow and the other guy from CSI. Like, I don't know.
Dang. So you liked it, but not that much.
I liked it. I didn't love it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, thank y'all for listening to our episode of Gunbuster. I'm sure there's some controversial things that have been said by Lindsay this episode.
I'm so sorry, everybody.
She's not wrong about, but I'm sure some of you don't want to have to hear it. And that's on you, not her. Sometimes you got to question people's motivations and why it's always the same bullshit. If you'd like to get access to more of the podcast, check out our backlog of over 60 episodes. We've also got a YouTube channel with a bunch of extra content and videos on there in the more long format style. We've also got a Patreon in case you want to support the podcast and all that we do. You get access to ad-free episodes and videos, bonus content, and access to our Discord. Speaking of our Patreon supporters, I want to give a shout out to our supporting characters and our retro cuties. But moving on to our Chibi Champion tier, we've got Swamp Wizard. Thank you for that, Swamp Wizard. And in our Nostalgia Wizard tier, we've got another dual one for both us and Anime Out of Context from Butler Rat. Butler Rat heard someone say Misaka wants Railgun Season 2 for the birds, but also Carl Vincent is one banger of a goddamn name, Mackenzie.
Oh.
It is a silly ass name.
Apparently he was also like a US senator too or something.
Probably. Anyways, everybody, thanks for listening along. Make sure to catch us next week when we've got Christmas episode. Ooh. And our Neon Genesis Evangelion episode. And we will catch you next time. Goodbye.
Oh my gosh. Goodbye, everyone.